thing, on that list of those meanings of krino, to judge, is condemn. To judge in the sense of condemning someone. And this is one thing that we're never permitted to do as Christians. Never to judge in the sense of condemning someone else. It can be a difficult line to walk. Jesus, he walked that line. You remember the story? This is in John chapter 8, about this woman that the scribes and Pharisees, they bring to Jesus. She's been caught in the very act of adultery. And they're saying to Jesus, it's a test. They set up this test. Hey, Jesus, the law of Moses says we're supposed to stone this woman. And I can just picture them. They got the rocks in their hands. We're supposed to stone this woman. What do you say? Jesus doesn't say anything. You remember, he draws in the sand, and then he looks at them all and says, you who is without sin, cast the first stone. They drop their stones, and they walk away. And Jesus says, where are your accusers? Well, she says, there are none here. And he says, well, neither do I judge you, condemn you. But then he says, go and sin no more. So it's not like he said, wink, wink, nudge, nudge, just go back to what you were doing. Well, he calls it as he sees it. But it's the grace that overrides the whole story. So it should be with us. It's just all too easy to condemn people. And you might think, well, I never do that. But have you ever heard yourself say something like, my boss is an idiot? I'm not looking for show hands. Who says that? But that's condemning language, because you're not saying something about a decision your boss made. You're just saying, he's an idiot. Or that was stupid. You say, that was stupid. And that ties pretty closely to the person who did that thing that you're calling stupid. You're not saying, well, he made an unwise decision there. That was stupid. Kind of like Forrest Gump. Stupid is as stupid does. It's not too hard to draw the line. So we need to be careful. Watch our language, that we're not condemning. All too easy to do. What God wants is for us to judge in the same way we judge and love ourselves. When we are doing it right, there's things in our lives. I bet everybody here has some habit that they are trying to overcome. And in that process, you often just 2 steps forward, 1 step back. You should have grace towards yourself. And because Christ has grace towards you, understand that it's hard. And you mess up, God forgives you. You need to forgive yourself, and then keep on trying. There's grace for this. Well, that same grace that God has toward us, that we're to have toward ourselves, well, we're to have toward each other. Grace and mercy. Let's be careful that we don't judge, even the sense of evaluating, wrongly or harshly. This woman named Marcia Bishop tells a story about when she used to deliver Meals on Wheels. She delivered in the Dallas area, and many of the places she went were projects. And there was one day, she had 2 small children, Garnet, who was 5, and Andrew, who was 2.5. And the sitter didn't show. Well, she needed to do the route. So she decides to take the kids with her. And she grabs a couple of old magazines, which is what she usually did, and loads these boys up in the car. At the beginning, they kind of held back, but then they were into it. Well, they got to this one woman's apartment, and Marcia was suddenly nervous, because this was a woman who, maybe it was because of a broken hip that she had suffered and recovering from, or maybe she was just mean and ornery, as a Kentucky friend of mine says, mean and ornery all the time. But the typical exchange was that the woman couldn't find anything to complain about. She'd simply say, "You're late. Put the food in the refrigerator." Well, they pull up to this woman's apartment, and Andrew, he grabs a couple magazines and says, "Ooh, I bet she'll really love these." And Garnet, he wants to carry something too, so Marcia gives him the milk, and that's not enough, so he stops on the way up to pick dandelions out of the yard, a couple of dandelions, to take to this woman. Marcia knocks on the woman's apartment door, and she hears, "You're late! You're late again!" She opens the door and goes to put the meal in, but those boys rush in ahead of her and practically falling all over this woman. "Here, there's a couple magazines I brought that I think you'd like, and I got these flowers to you." Like Andrew's practically fallen into this woman's lap. Well, Marcia, she takes the food and puts it over on the table, and Garnet, he's back out the door, and she turns to take Andrew's hand and looks back at the woman who is now managed to stand, has one hand on the walker, clutching those two dandelions, and is waving goodbye with the other. And this smile on her face is radiated through the tears that are going down her cheek. Marcia Bishop writes, "A log in your eye can really make you blind." It is a myth that Christians shouldn't judge. But let us judge the right things in the right way. Let's pray.